Hello dear students, welcome to the second video of trigonometric functions. So in this video we shall discuss about the trigonometric functions using the unit circle. So basically in the previous video we have discussed about degree and radian measure, and we have seen that how we can use the radian to discuss to understand the concept of the angles. Okay, so here in this video we shall see how the functions, suppose sine of x and how the functions cos of x, they behave inside this circle, or how we can understand their behavior using this circle. Okay, so since we are considering the x as radian here, since we use the pi by 2, 0 and all those things, so to understand since we are using the radians, so we consider the unit circle here, because we know that to understand radian we need the unit circle, isn't it? And therefore we have considered a unit circle with a point P here. Now if this is a unit circle, the radius will be 1. So if it is 1, then its coordinate here it will be, since it is 1, so this length will also be 1, so coordinate here will be 1 0, it will be 0 1 minus 1 0, this coordinate, and this point will be 0 minus 1. Okay, so we have considered a random point here, that is P of P A B, and we can see that this length will be A, the x coordinate, and this length will be B, the y coordinate. Also, what is the arc length? It's x, and since the arc length is x, so the angle subtended by this arc at the center will be x radian. Okay, so we can write here angle POM is equal to x radian. Fine. Now let us see what is A and B. Here the PAB coordinate, we see that this is a right angle triangle, isn't it? POM, this is a right angle triangle. So what about the sine of x? What can we say about that? Sine of x will be, it is actually perpendicular by hypotenuse. So what is our perpendicular? It is B, and hypotenuse is 1. So this is equal to B. Therefore we have got sin x is equal to B. And what about the cos x? Cos x is base by hypotenuse, so A by 1, and that is equal to A. So we have got the value of sin and cos as B and A. So let me write this up here. Therefore cos of x is equal to A and sin of x is equal to B. So we have got these two things. Now that means in place of this I can write this, or P of cos x sin x, both are same thing. Okay, now in the triangle, this triangle POM, this is a right angle triangle. So since it is a right angle triangle, we can use the Pythagoras theorem. So using the Pythagoras theorem, we see that OP square, that is hypotenuse square, is equal to perpendicular square, that is PM square, plus OM square, that is base square. Implies, what is OM square? It is the OM is the radius of the circle, so it will be 1 square, and PM means this B square, and OM means A square. Fine. So this gives us 1 square means 1. What is our B? B means sine square x, and A means cos, so it will be cos square x. So thus we have got a very well-known identity, that is sin square x plus cos square x is equal to 1. So this is how we can derive this formula. Okay, so from this formula we can find two other formulas, like if I divide the equation by if I divide it by say cos square x, then what I shall get? I shall get 1 by cos square x is equal to sin square x by cos square x, and here it will be 1. So this gives us 1 by cos square x is sec square x, and that is equal to tan square x plus 1. So this is another equation that we can write 1 plus tan square x is equal to sec square x. So you have got this in your grade 10 as well. Now one more I can write from here is divide equation 1 by sin square x. So if I divide it throughout, so it will be 1 by sine square x, that will be equal to sine square x by sine square x will be 1 plus cos square x by sine square x will be, okay, just let me write, cos square x by sine square x, and this will imply 1 by sine square x is cosec square x, and here we have 1 plus cos square x by sine square x, that will be cot square x. So these are the three very important identities. Okay, so this is how we find it. Now we shall see certain properties of the from the circle, from the unit circle. Like here we can see that this is what our first quadrant, this is the second quadrant, this is third quadrant, and this is fourth quadrant. So what is this angle from here to here? This total angle is 90 degree. That is, I can write angle AOB, this angle is equal to pi by 2. Angle AOC is equal to pi, that means AOC. Then angle AOD is equal to 3 pi by 2, and angle AOA, that is the complete angle, is equal to twice pi. Okay, so these are the four things that we can notice. And if we, this is when we go clockwise, and if we go anti-clockwise, then so if we are going anti-clockwise, then angle AOD is equal to minus pi by 2. Angle AOC will be equal to pi or minus pi. So angle AOB will be equal to minus 3 pi by 2. That means when we are going anti-clockwise. Okay, so when we are going clockwise, then we have the negative angles, and this is how we get this. Now let us see that what happens at the end points, or at the point pi by 2. Here from the figure we see that when the point P reaches this point A, so what happens when P reaches at A, or when P is equal to A, then AB is equal to 1 0. Fine. So from there what can I say? What is our A? It is cos x will be equal to 1 and sin x is equal to 0. So when these are 1 and 0, at this point what is happening? This x is becoming 0, isn't it? That is, the angle will be 0 now. So in place of x I need to write 0. That is, cos 0 is equal to 1 and sin 0 is equal to 0. So from there we get the values. Okay, so this is in this case. Now when the point P moves to B, what if P is equal to B? At that time AB will be equal to 0 1, and that means in place of A we need to write cos x. So here x is now what? It has reached this point, that means x is now 90 degree, that is pi by 2. So cos pi by 2 will be 0 and sin pi by 2 is 1. Next, when the point P reaches the point C, or when P comes here, at that time AB will be equal to minus 1 0, and there we get cos pi is equal to minus 1 and sin pi is equal to 0. And last, when P is equal to D at the point this, then AB is equal to 0 minus 1, and what about the cos 3 pi by 2 will be equal to 0, and sin 3 pi by 2 will be equal to minus 1. Okay, so these are the four things that we have got. Now again, if we move, like we have taken this point, this, and again if we reach the initial point again, so that will be equal to what? 2 pi now. So when P is equal to A again, then instead of considering it as the angle 0, we can take it as a complete angle, that will be same. So here at P is equal to A, what is happening? our AB will be equal to 1 0, and it will be cos of twice pi is equal to 1, and sine of twice pi is equal to 0. So we can see that at the point p is equal to a, that is at cos 0 and cos twice pi, the values are same. So from this we can understand that after a certain revolution or after a complete revolution, the value repeats again. Okay. So what conclusion can we give from here? We can conclude that the values of cos or cos x is equal to 0. When cos of x is 0, you see at this point it is 0, here it is 0. That means whenever x is equal to twice n plus 1 pi by 2, where n belongs to the set of integers. So when x is this, at that time the value of cos is 0. Now what about sine? When sine is 0? Sine is 0 here, sine is 0 here, sine is 0 here. That means sine of x will be 0 when x is equal to what? You see here we have taken sine of 0 is 0, then sine of pi is 0, sine of twice pi is 0. That means integral multiple of 2 pi, okay? Sorry, integral multiple of n pi. Okay, so that means here we have taken where is it? Yeah, pi. So for 1 we get n pi, so, and n belongs to the set of integers. Now using the sine and cosine, we can define the other trigonometric ratios. Like we have got that sine of now using the sine and cosine, we can define. Now using the sine and cosine, we can define the other trigonometric ratios. Like what is our cosec? Cosec of x is equal to 1 by sine of x, isn't it? But since 1 by sine of x is a rational number or is a rational function, so sine x cannot be 0, and the condition will be cosec x is equal to 1 by sine x, and the condition will be x naught is equal to n pi, where n belongs to the set of integers. Okay, and what about the sec? We can define sec in terms of cos, so that will be 1 by cos x, and since this is also a rational function, so here cos x will not be equal to 0, and the condition will be x naught is equal to twice n plus 1 pi by 2, and it belongs to the set of integers from here. Okay, then what about 10? We know that 10x means sine of x by cos of x. So since this is also a rational function, so cos x cannot be 0, so we can just write it here, that is this condition. So x naught is equal to twice n plus 1 pi by 2, n belongs to the set of integers. And for cot x, we have cos by sine, and the condition will be this, because sin x cannot be 0, so we shall have x naught is equal to n pi, and belongs to the set of integers. Fine. So this is all about the trigonometric functions using the unit circle. And now let us study a few things about the signs of trigonometric functions, like how they will behave in different quadrants. So here we already have the unit circle. Now let us take a negative angle here. Like if I extend this, since this x was positive, so in the clockwise direction it will be negative x, isn't it? Now let me name it as q. All right, and yeah, fine. Now what about this coordinate? What will be the coordinate of q? Here we can see that this coordinate, the a will be same, that is from here this distance will be same. But what about b? It will be minus b now, negative b, okay, because it is coming downwards. Now here we have got p of ab is equal to p of cos x sin x. That is, we have already deduced that a is equal to cos x and b is equal to sin x. But so what about the coordinate of QAB? So in case of QAB, we see that here cos of what we need to take now. The angle is now, the radian is now minus x, isn't it? So cos of minus x will be, in place of cos of minus x, what will be the thing here? It will be a, isn't it? And what is a? A is cos x. So from there we can directly write that cos of minus x is equal to cos x. And what about the sin x? Sin of minus x, if the angle is negative, then sin of minus x, because it is perpendicular by hypotenuse, so we shall have the coordinate minus b. So that is equal to minus b, and this is, what is our minus b? Our b was sin x, so sin of x. Therefore we can write sin of minus x is equal to minus sin x. Okay, so this is how we write the signs of the cos and sine function in the different coordinates using the unit circle. Now let us see a very interesting thing, that is the ASTC rule. What is that? ASTC rule. You can also write it as Assam State Transport Corporation rule, or something like all students of 10th class. So if these are the four coordinates, what is this? First quadrant, second quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant. Now what happens generally is that in the first quadrant, whatever point you take here, both will be positive, isn't it? In the first quadrant, the coordinates are always positive, so all the trigonometric ratios will be positive here. What about the second quadrant? In the second quadrant, the sine and cosec function, these two will be positive, rest will be negative. In the third quadrant, all sine 10, write it like all sine 10 cos. So cos, it means we need to take sine and opposite of sine, 10 and opposite of 10, that will be cot, cos and opposite of cos, that will be sec. Okay. So here 10 and cot will be positive, rest will be negative. Here cos and sec will be positive and rest will be negative. Fine. So let us see one example. For say you have sine of 5 pi by 2, then how to write it, or what value can you write it in place of this? Because we don't know exactly what is the value of 5 pi by 2, but we know the value of pi by 2, isn't it? Or if you have a value 5 pi by 2 plus pi by 4, then what? We know the value of pi by 4. See, in this case we need to check in which quadrant it lies. So at first, pi by 2 means a full quadrant. So here there are 5 pi by 2s, or let me take a 3 pi by 2, it will be more interesting. So for 3 pi by 2, first pi by 2 will lie here, then second, then third, 3 pi by 2 plus pi by 4. That means after crossing the 3 quadrant, we have reached here. So now our pi by 4 will be in this quadrant, isn't it? So in this quadrant, what happens? The sign is negative here, because only cos and sec are positive. So whatever value it be, the answer will be in negative. Okay. Now what about sine? Will it be sine? You can see that it is 3 pi by 2. So whenever there is a odd multiple of pi by 2, our function will interchange itself. Like sine will become cos, 10 will become cot, sec will become cosec. So sine will become cos here, and we shall write pi by 4. So our answer will be minus 1 by root 2. Okay. So this is how we use the ASTC rule, and this will be very important for your coming problems. So this will be the end of this video, and in the next video we shall come up with the domains and ranges of trigonometric functions. So till then, stay home and stay safe. Thank you.